What if the one airport rule everyone is angry about isn't even the real rule that's about to stop you in 2026? Because while travelers are still arguing online about tiny shampoo bottles and clear plastic bags, something much quieter, much deeper, and honestly more dangerous is happening behind the scenes of global airport security. And almost nobody is talking about it. Not the airlines, not the influencers, not even most frequent flyers. And that's exactly why this matters now. Because in 2026, airports are no longer just checking what you carry. They're judging why you carry it, how you pack it, what patterns your items form, and even what your bag says about your future behavior. Which sounds dramatic, I know, but stay with me. Because this isn't fear bait. This is the real shift happening as scanners stop being simple machines and start behaving more like decision makers. And the biggest myth travelers believe right now is that the hated liquid rule is the final boss of airport security, when in reality, it's barely even relevant anymore. It's the distraction, the decoy, the thing that keeps you busy while the real changes slide in unnoticed. Because modern scanners don't care if your bottle is 3.4 ounces or 3.6 ounces anymore. They care about density, shaped clusters, material behavior under layered frequencies, and contextual packing logic, meaning the scanner isn't just asking, "What is this?" It's asking, "Does this item make sense next to that item?" And if the answer feels wrong to the system, even if everything you packed is technically allowed, congratulations, you've just been flagged. Not because you broke a rule, but because your bag told a story the system didn't like. And this is where travelers get confused. Angry, frustrated, because there's no sign explaining it. Number TSA agent can clearly articulate it, and online advice videos are still stuck in 2019, telling you to remove laptops and liquids, like that's the big secret. When the truth is, airports are quietly transitioning from rule-based screening to behavior pattern screening. And in 2026, this becomes global, not just in the US, not just in Europe, but internationally standardized through shared security directives that never get announced in press releases. They get implemented in software updates. And one day you just notice that your bag keeps getting pulled aside even though you did nothing wrong. And that's because scanners now flag combinations. Not contraband, a power bank placed next to certain cables, a medical device packed too tightly with personal electronics, dense toiletry kits arranged in ways that mimic concealment patterns, even travel souvenirs packed with clothes in a way that breaks expected traveler logic. And here's the scary part. The system doesn't care about your explanation. It already made its decision before the bag even exits the tunnel, which is why arguing at the checkpoint never works anymore. Because the human officer isn't the one who flagged you, the machine did. And the officer is just responding to a silent digital judgment that can't be debated. And this is why so many travelers in 2026 will say, "I fly all the time. This never used to happen," because it didn't. Not until scanners stopped being passive and started being predictive. And predictive systems don't look for danger, they look for deviation. Anything that falls outside the expected statistical behavior of millions of scanned bags. And if you think this only affects rare cases, think again. Because frequent travelers are actually more at risk, since repeated patterns get tracked. Not by name, not by face, but by packing logic. Meaning if your bag consistently triggers secondary checks, the system expects it, prepares for it, and speeds up your inconvenience every single time. And nobody tells you how to reset that pattern, because officially, it doesn't exist, but unofficially, it controls your entire airport experience. And this is why some people breeze through security with chaotic bags, while others get stopped with perfectly organized ones. Because order doesn't matter anymore, predictability does. And predictability is defined by algorithms trained on global travel behavior, not common sense. And that's also why the liquid rule survives as a talking point. Because it gives travelers something simple to complain about, something visible, something familiar, while the real transformation happens invisibly. Deep inside scanner software updates pushed quietly to airports worldwide, updates that change thresholds, scanning angles, acceptable density overlaps, and risk-scoring models without a single announcement. And airlines won't warn you because it's not their department. Security agencies won't explain it because explaining it defeats its purpose, and YouTube videos rarely cover it. Because it's not easy content, it doesn't fit in a thumbnail. You can't point at a bottle and say, "This is the problem," when the real problem is invisible math, interpreting your intentions through your belongings. And in 2026, this affects carry-ons more than checked bags, because carry-ons represent immediate access, immediate intent, immediate threat potential in the system's logic, which means your everyday items, chargers, adapters, grooming tools, even notebooks, are evaluated not individually but relationally. And the worst part is that compliance doesn't guarantee clearance anymore, because you can follow every written rule and still fail the unwritten ones, the algorithmic ones, the ones that don't exist on airport posters. And travelers who don't adapt will feel punished without understanding why, while travelers who unknowingly pack in alignment with the system glide through like VIPs without ever realizing what they did right. And this is the future of airport security. Quiet, subtle, frustrating, and deeply misunderstood. And if you're still preparing for 2026 by arguing about liquids, you're preparing for the wrong fight, because the real agenda isn't about what you bring. It's about how your bag behaves, how it looks under layered frequencies, how it aligns with global packing norms, and how closely your choices match what the system expects a low-risk traveler to look like. And once you understand that, once you stop packing like a human and start packing like a pattern, airport security suddenly makes sense. And suddenly the hated rule everyone complains about feels almost nostalgic, because it was simple, clear, and human. Unlike what's coming next, which doesn't argue with you, doesn't explain itself, and doesn't care how long you've been flying. And that's the real 2026 airport agenda nobody warned you about. Not because it's secret, but because it's easier for everyone to pretend it doesn't exist.